Hello and welcome to Business Live. Coming up, we will be exploring the impact of the Bank of Ghana's directive to commercial banks to halt payment of foreign currency cash to large corporations. We will be live with the bulk oil distribution companies. Also, we shall be assessing whether the capping of mining leases from 30 to 50 years could affect fresh investment in the mining sector. We'll be joined by the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Also coming up, the Association of Ghana Industries calls on Ghana Revenue Authority and border agencies to clamp down on illegal imports.
There are products coming into the market, and sometimes you wonder how those products could enter the market and be sold at the kind of prices they are being sold. And I always have, a couple of examples. Some of the products are internationally traded commodities. If you take flour.
We have these and more coming up in this bulletin. My name is Winston Taki. Now let's bring you updates on the price of commodities on the international market. Now to our first business story. The Bank of Ghana has directed commercial banks to immediately stop payment of foreign currency to large companies not backed by deposit. Now we go on Zoom and speak to the BDC. That's the Chief Executive, Dr. Patrick Kweku-Ofori, who joins us via Zoom. Welcome to the Business Live. Now, what's your reaction to this directive, especially when the BOG mentioned that bulk oil distribution companies as one to be affected? Mr. Patrick? All right, we'll get to Mr. Patrick shortly, and you get to understand the reasons that they were stated in the directive. Now, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks, Johnny Wa, has described as prudent the decision of the Bank of Ghana to direct commercial banks to immediately stop payments of foreign currency to large companies not backed by deposits. According to him, this is necessary to curb the funding of illicit activities. He's been speaking to Joy Business.
Yes, the leadership of the banking industry had a meeting with the governor and his team a couple of days ago, I believe 2 days ago, on the 19th of this month, and at which meeting this matter was discussed. I must say that it received the support of the banks, because in our view, the significant cash withdrawal over the counter, we don't see the merit or the justification for such huge withdrawals. If you ask me as a banker that if someone came to a branch and withdrew $1 million, what possibly that company will be using the $1 million for, I will not be able to tell you. I can't pin my hand on anything that the dollar is going to do, apart from potentially going to fund some illicit activity that perhaps we do not have the evidence to support. So we are very much in the same boat with the Bank of Ghana, that our legal tender in this country is one currency, and that is the Ghana cedi. And our big corporations must learn to use the cedi in which they earn their revenue.
We have the CEO of the bulk oil distribution companies, Dr. Patrick Kweku-Ofori, who joins us via Zoom. Welcome to the Business Live. Now, what's your reaction to this directive, especially when the Bank of Ghana mentioned that bulk oil distribution companies as one to be affected?
Thank you very much. I think I would like to use this opportunity to extend my sincere condolence to my big brother, Mr. Ewa. We will all be in Kumasi to support his him to bury his mother. But I think, like Mr. Ua said, we all are concerned, and we must give commendation to the Bank of Ghana. First, they did the most important thing by engaging all of us as key stakeholders and the sectors in which these activities are happening. Whilst we commend the governor and his team for such a directive, we also would really want them to crack down on state institutions and other entities that their regulatory fees and charges are also quoted in USD. You look at some of the fees that others you are paying to a state entity, and you realize that they are giving you an exchange rate of, let's say, 12 cedis, or some even go to the extent of quoting 13 cedis. So
Great.
most
There are some
members
who
would
say this move is a step in the right direction since it will curb the illicit flow of funds in the market. What do you say to that?
Yes, yes, we appreciate that. That is a right move, but we also would want them to crack down on state institutions and other entities in the country that quote their regulatory charges and their fees in dollars. And when you even want to pay using the BOG rate or interbank rate, they insist that you either use the rate of 13 or 12.
Do you think this will impact badly on your operations or possibly your members?
The exchange rate from even the bank, it's not going to impact on our operations in any way, because what we actually want to assist as Ghanaians and also a business group is to ensure that we all play by the rules that governs the sector. We all operate in a sector that is highly regulated, and we encourage, we've already had several meetings and engagements with our members that we've warned against that. But their key concerns were the regulatory fees and charges that others quote in dollars, that the rate that they use is more or less more than how you can get the dollars. So some are forced somehow to rather catch the dollars and then go and pay in dollars, so that they can also make some savings from that. But we accept the fact that it is not acceptable, and henceforth we are all going to support and ensure that we, without those deposits, if you are receiving dollars from BOG to support export, we all ensure that those monies go directly into paying the LCs and then the IOTCs that have guaranteed the product supply into the country. So I don't think it's a cause for worry at all.
Great.
We want to ensure that based on this, we're going to enhance our collaboration with BOG to also name and shame, and then also implement some self-regulatory mechanisms that members who default or go contrary to that will face the required sanctions.
Finally, what is your assessment of the central bank's dollar auction program?
It's been tough in the last recent weeks, in the last few weeks, and we're hoping that in the coming weeks we can engage them further to ensure that we have enough. You check the last few days, the complaints that as a chamber we've been receiving from most of our members. Most of the products were sold on credit using an exchange rate of 10.35. But currently, the last auction as at yesterday and this morning, most of the dollars that came to the market are going at a rate of 11.1, which means that already those receiving products that were sold using even 10.5 are recording some losses and deficits that we intend aggregating and find other innovative ways of meeting the central bank midway to ensure that we can also sustain the businesses, whilst we also support the Bank of Ghana in their quest to control inflation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patrick, for joining us here on the Business Live. Now, moving on, the Association of Ghana Industries is urging the Ghana Revenue Authority and other state agencies to intensify border policing to clamp down on illegal import into the country. Chief Executive Officer of AGI, Seth Chum Akwabua, says the influx of unapproved goods is crippling local businesses and undermining Ghana's industrial growth. He stressed that stricter enforcement at the borders is critical to safeguarding the competitiveness of local manufacturers. Mr. Akwabua made the call at the Prudential Bank Special Customer Seminar on the appreciation of the cedi.
At the Prudential Bank's Special Customer Seminar on the appreciation of the cedi, stakeholders in the business community discussed the challenges and opportunities in sustaining the local currency gains. The AGI said the activities of smugglers and traders who bring in goods outside official channels create unfair competition for local manufacturers who comply with tax and regulatory obligations.
There are products coming into the market, and sometimes you wonder how those products could enter the market and be sold at the kind of prices they are being sold. And I always have, a couple of examples. Some of the products are internationally traded commodities. If you take flour, so if you go on the net and you go into the international market, you can have an idea about what the international price is. The cost breakdown of a typical production plant for flour, you can have it. The same thing applies to cables. The copper is sold in international markets. The plastics that is used as insulators, they are also sold. So you have an idea about the cost structure. And yet, goods are able to land in Ghana at a price that is ridiculously low, that is sometimes you wonder if really they pay the right duties, they declare the right volumes, and they declare the right values. So we've had these challenges. And therefore, in a situation where there's even a higher tendency to maneuver, and it's affecting industries, and we are going to lose jobs, then the regulatory agencies have a major role to play.
Managing Director of Prudential Bank, Bernard Jebi, says the bank will continue to play its role in supporting the growth of Ghana's economy.
We have a deep understanding of the Ghanaian economy. We're here. We've been with you since the beginning of time. Our team is dedicated to providing innovative financial solutions that meet your needs and to help you achieve your business goals. Whether it's through our trade finance services, foreign exchange solutions, or other banking products, as has been explained by Zebrim, we are here to support your business and to help you navigate the complexities of this current economic landscape.
VAG has consistently advocated stronger trade enforcement measures, arguing that protecting local industries from unfair trade practices is key to strengthening Ghana's economy. James Ashen's report for Joy Business.
And the Minerals Commission has announced that the duration of mining leases will now be capped at 15 years, down from 30 years provided under the existing law. Chief Executive of the Commission, Martin Iyisi, made these revelations during an engagement on the overview of the mining regime in Ghana. My colleague Maxwell Aklobotu has more in this report.
The Minerals Commission has outlined major reforms to Ghana's mining laws governing the registration and operation of mining firms. Among them is a new limit on the duration of mining leases. Chief Executive Officer Martin Iyisi explained that the 30-year leases have not benefited the nation, as companies often fail to undertake extensive exploration. He says this makes it necessary to restrict leases to a maximum of 15 years.
We've also realized that there is no need to give these 30-year leases. It's never helped us. I did a check around the world. I found an average between 21 to 30 years. Most countries in Africa between 25 to 30. A lot of the laws in Africa countries were basically Ghana's law. A lot of countries copied from us. So we have decided that now the upper limit of mining leases should be 15 years.
He also revealed the abolition of development agreement, which granted some mining companies special terms beyond the standard leases. He explained that the state does not benefit from such agreement when economic conditions improve.
We have decided to now abolish development agreements. So all these issues of development agreements, investment agreements where countries are giving, some companies are giving some special arrangements, we're taking them from the law. Like the accounts will say, amboye. So what are these DAs where, apart from the standard mining leases each company has in Ghana, they are giving special terms under the guise that they brought in billions. I'll tell you a few things. So, for instance, what they forget is that, or what we do to ourselves is that when the economics change, we don't benefit.
Also speaking at the engagement was Dr. Charles Mensah, chairman of the board of the Institute of Economic Affairs. He said Ghana's frequent recourse to the International Monetary Fund stems from the country's failure to properly control its natural resources, which could otherwise finance the economy.
For the record, we have been to the IMF about 17 times asking for a bailout. In other words, we've gone bankrupt about 17 times over the past 40 years, let's put it that way. And here we are, we have a huge mining industry. We produce gold. We are told Ghana is the largest gold producing country, one of the largest, maybe the second in Africa. Yet, with all these natural resources, we keep going bankrupt. Why is that? Now, it is because we have no control over our natural resources. Our natural resources have all been given out to foreign companies who ship out the resources, and the revenues that are accrued to these resources are all banked outside. So as a result, we're being asked to run a race with our hands tied behind us.
The Minerals Commission is hopeful that the proposed reforms to mining laws will help properly indigenize the nation's resources for the full benefit of its citizens. Maxwell Aklobo to report, read to you.
We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Business Live. Now to our first business story. As part of effort to provide creative entrepreneurs with essential resources and support Fidelity Bank Ghana through its Orange Inspire project, a cultural and creative fund engaged young creatives in a masterclass session to support the creative economy. Head of Partnership and Sustainability at Fidelity Bank Ghana, Nanaya Ofori-Kori, explains further after an exciting moment with participants in Accra. Here is more.
Masterclass provided opportunity for an open conversation on how to double incomes of various entrepreneurs in the creative industry and earning a living from their works. Under the Fidelity Young Entrepreneurs Initiative, about 24 entrepreneurs in the industry have received mentorship, business coaching, and brand building support to take their work to the next level. Head of Partnership and Sustainability at Fidelity Bank Ghana, Nanaya Ofori-Kori, told Joy Business that this will provide a good foundation for the players to build a thriving future.
The youth segment is very important to us, and it's especially important for us to support the local economic stimulus. So as part of our Fidelity Young Entrepreneurship Initiative, we realized that we needed to couch a special fund for the creatives, particularly because you have a lot of young people, a lot of females, and we know that's the future. So really that's the inspiration behind what we've done. The fund is really around supporting the youth with access to finance, access to markets, access to information, access to knowledge. That's key for us. Now today we have this masterclass which we've actually opened up to more than the 24 that have been shortlisted and have gone through the incubation.
Secretary General of the Ghana Commission for UNESCO, Osman Tahiru Damba, believes the platform will enhance employment opportunities for the sector as the UN agency is willing to support more of such initiatives.
We are in a stage where branding is concerned. How you brand your product also tells the kind of pricing and the kind of demand you can create for that product. And so these young men and women will give us that opportunity to identify key development areas we can actually give branding and focus to, so that we can be intentional about the process and give the national development paradigm shift from agriculture to the services sector. And one other important aspect of this mentorship program is the fact that we are now creating employers other than they seeking for employment from other sectors, and we must commend the Fidelity Bank for this initiative and for this drive.
Fidelity is poised to do more for the sector as the creative economy continues to expand.
Now, the Ghana Institution of Engineering has welcomed 125 professional engineers at an induction ceremony in Accra. President of the institution, Engineer Ludwig Annan Hesse, said the inductees to keep up with continuous professional development requirements and ensure timely renewal of their licenses with the Engineering Council.
The Engineering Center was the venue where the Ghana Institution of Engineering welcomed 125 professionals into its fold. President of the institution, Engineer Ludwig Annan Hesse, urged the inductees to be professional. He emphasized the need for continuous professional development and compliance with the Engineering Council's regulations.
We are happy to induct these 125 persons. We've encouraged them to act with competence, to act with integrity, and apply the highest standard of ethics in their practice. We've encouraged them to continue to develop their abilities so that they can apply it to the service of the nation and to the people of Ghana. So it's our prayer that this batch of practitioners will add to the vast number of practitioners already existing in the country and contribute positively to the development of our nation.
The inductees are drawn from civil, mechanical, chemical, mining, electrical, and electronic engineering, represented by the chair of the membership committee, Engineer Dr. Michael Ankama Bequin. The induction ceremony was the 46th since the inception of the institution.
That's all for Business Live here on the Joy News channel. Thanks for watching. My name is Winston Taki. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.